So, all right, you wonderful lot. Here we are, full screen. Hope everyone is well. Yeah, forget the small talk in the little chat before we actually go live properly. Let's have a little chat now. Big shout out to those on the audio experience as well. Just going to check in with those who are joining us live, like what's actually happening. I want to say, first of all, thank you so much to everybody who's watched that video put out today on rejection and have shared it and, you know, kind of watched it. Over 500 people have watched it already. It's only been online like 2 hours. So that's pretty good. I'm going to do more of those. The reason we did that video this week was because I'm changing the direction of the vlog, Watch Ross, ever so slightly. What Watch Ross is going to be from now on, ultimately, is behind the scenes of all of the features that I do on actsonthis.tv. So when I go out and interview a casting director or an agent or a writer or a producer or an actor or just whoever from the acting industry, top quality guests, it's going to be behind the scenes of that. So you're going to basically get, like, it's like Extra Factor. You're going to get behind the scenes of that interview and extra stuff. If you then want to go and watch and listen to the full interview, you need a membership on actsonthis.tv. But it's a way for you guys to keep a track of what's going on and get some extra content. Every other week it will be from next week. So this week we didn't do a vlog. I shot a video instead, just a dedicated video on an area of that industry and life in general that I was passionate about, and it's rejection and how rejection screws people up. And lots of examples of people who are very, very, very famous, very rich. We're talking about money tonight. Very, very rich, very famous, who have faced massive rejection in their life, but have gone on to achieve greatness. So I think it's pretty good to remind ourselves sometimes that rejection is absolutely 100% necessary. It's not something you can ever get away from. You're never going to be able to dodge it in many areas of your life, particularly your acting career. You're never going to be able to dodge that. Jill, all right, good evening. How are we doing, Bobby? Bobby's here as well. He said he starts work on Vikings on Wednesday. Sounds good, Bobby. Don't know Vikings, but I guess it's a show or a web series or something. Let us know. Post it in the Facebook group if you've got anything you're allowed to post. For those listening on the audio experience, if you're not a member of the Facebook group, facebook.com/actonthis. No. That's the Facebook page. Facebook.com/actonthisTV is the page. The group is facebook.com/groups/actonthisTV. So there's a page and a group. I always get them mixed up. John says, trust me, Ross, I'm a reject. You're not a reject, John. Well, we're all rejects, mate, to be honest with you. But yeah, it's how you use that rejection. You've got to use it to fuel you. So that video, I'll play a little bit of it. For those who haven't seen it yet, I'll play a little bit of it after this chapter we're going to look at tonight. Of Jen Sincero's book, You Are a Badass at Making Money. This is the fourth and final time I'm going to be looking at this book. If you have not joined us for these other 3 broadcasts we have done over the last month on this book, get yourself over to the YouTube channel, the Acts on This TV YouTube channel, which is, I'm sure you can guess it, youtube.com/Acts on This TV. It's basically Acts on This TV everywhere. Go check that out and you'll find the section of the live broadcast replays there that we do every Monday night at 9 p.m. and you'll get all of those broadcasts. There's about 300 of them that you can just catch up on, or alternatively go to iTunes, search for Acts on This TV, all one word, and you can listen to the audio. Tonight we've got a short chapter, right? But this is an important chapter. It's actually just chapter 2A. We read chapter 2 last week. This is 2A. So it's kind of half a chapter, but I thought, you know what, rather than skip it, I actually want to talk about it because it's something that it talks about something that I've changed my outlook on majorly. To be honest, over the last year, really, really have. I've touched on it a little bit in the vlog that I do, and ultimately, yeah, I mean, I always cringed a little bit even talking about it because it sounds so airy-fairy and out there. But, you know, in terms of the law of attraction, in terms of what you put out, you get back. Some people might want to call it karma. Some people might want to call it energy. Some people might be religious and think it's something to do with the religion, etc. However you look at, ultimately, this topic, my opinion's changed on it a lot. I used to be very, very scientific and was like, if you can't prove it by science, forget it. But there's been a few things happened. Many things actually happened in my life over the last 12 to 18 months that I'm like, wow, I was literally thinking and focusing on that thing and it effectively was just delivered to me on a plate. Many things have happened that I could not explain. My brain could never have figured out how I was going to get those things. They've happened, and money is one of them. And this chapter of Jen's book focuses on this area she likes to call universal intelligence, and how you can use universal intelligence, and we'll define that in a minute. You might be thinking, what the hell is that? How you can use universal intelligence ultimately to attract more money into your life. Because I do believe a lot of people, whether you believe in it or not, in terms of, I'm not saying anything's magic or anything like that. I feel a lot of people do block themselves from money. That's what this whole book's about, like getting out of your own way when it comes to making money. I think a lot of people do get in their own way when it comes to making money. They convince themselves of so many reasons why they can't earn it, why they don't deserve it, and yet they never focus on the fact that ultimately, like, they do deserve it, they can earn it, it's their duty to earn it, and the positive impact they can do and the dent they can make in the universe when they have much more money than they've got right now. So something that I think we all struggle with, but it's an interesting area of money mindset that we're going to look at tonight. Are you all tucked in? Are you ready for this? Those on the audio experience, whatever you're doing, put those weights down if you're in the gym. No, don't actually. Keep working out. Keep walking the dog. Keep driving the car. Keep your eyes on the road, whatever you're doing on the audio experience. So this chapter, Chapter 2A of Jen Sincero's You Are a Badass at Making Money. It's called A Tiny But Mighty Chapter About Universal Intelligence. And I'm going to try and keep an eye on the comments, keep an eye on you guys on Twitter. I know most people join these lives on Facebook now, but I'm going to try and keep an eye on all the comments, and we'll have a little read of this. It's not the longest chapter. Won't take us that long to do. And then after this, I want you all to go and watch that rejection video if you've not seen it already. So she starts off this chapter and says, there is no lack of opinions and theories when it comes to the universal intelligence that created and continues to create all that exists. Right, sorry, it sounds a bit out there. Some people call this mighty power God. That might be, you might have God in your life, you might be religious. Some call it spirit. Some people are a bit more agnostic, just, spiritual. Some call it a load of crap. That's perfectly, legit, way to look at it, if you like. But if you're one of those people who happens to be skeptical about buying into such woo-hooery, Jen says, and you desire to get rich, I strongly suggest you put your grouchiness aside just for a minute and agree to take some new beliefs for a spin, right? So you've got to try this shit out, right? I'm not telling you there's some magic formula and you can just basically wish for money and you're going to get it in your life, because that's bullshit. But you certainly can block yourself via the thoughts that you're putting out into the world from having anything in your life, I think. So let's have a look. So because not only, Jen says, you should do that, not only because you could very possibly see gigantic results by partying down with universal intelligence, but I'm telling you, whether you like it or not, you already sort of believe in it anyway. You believe in something, right? I don't care who you are. You believe in something somewhere. And whether it's fate, you might want to call it fate, or luck, or divine intervention. You've knocked on wood before. Bet some of you have gone, oh, how are you feeling? Not too bad, touch wood. Bet you've all done shit like that, right? You've said a prayer when your team's about to lose. Steve, when Man City are in a penalty shootout, mate, I bet you've been praying, come on, Aguero, you can score this goal. Stuff like that, right? Or you suddenly notice blue and red flashing lights in your rear view mirror. You probably prayed, please don't stop me, please don't pull me over. You've thanked someone named God before. You go, oh, thank God for that. Or struck an oh my before his name. Oh my God, while watching a video of an old lady jump over a pile of her grandkids on a skateboard. You've gotten a magically knowing hint from somewhere. I don't know what made me think to stop off at Mum's house on the way home, but if I hadn't, she'd still be lying on the floor. Hopefully, that's not many people in here, but if you've got an elderly mum, maybe something just went, do you know what? I had this the other day. Something told me to take the stairs and not the lift. I take the lift in this place I go to all the time. I take the lift all the time. Something, and I can't even tell you what it was, said take the stairs, Ross. I took the stairs. I bumped into a friend on the stairs I haven't seen in nearly 5 years. Fate? Dunno. Magic? Dunno. Coincidence? Dunno. But something told me not to take the stairs. Was the outcome positive? Yeah, very positive. So you've caught a glimpse that there might be something out there, and you can't totally wrap your head around that, and you don't know what it is, right, that is participating in our lives. But you felt it tickle the hairs along the back of your neck, even if it's just the tiniest smidgen of recognition. You've said howdy to universal intelligence somewhere. This is what she's coining, universal intelligence, right? It's ultimately just something you believe in, even if it's just a tiny, tiny little smidgen, right? Because I think we've, fucking hell, man, I swear to God, when shit hits the fan, your chips are down, I don't care who you are, you reach out to something. I'm sure, I just know you do. Just know you do. I've made a pact before when I had an operation on my eyes and basically couldn't see past my arm for 70 days. I made a bit of a pact going, get me out of this. Get me out of this. I will do nothing but add value to the world for the rest of my life. Whatever it was got me out of that. about 70 days later, felt like I'd been born again. I had some surgery on my eyes, and it cleared up a load of scar tissue that had covered my lenses of my eyes. And I was like, wow, like, thanks. Was it like, coincidence? I don't know. I don't know, but I'm keeping my side of the deal there. So Jen says, listen, the reason I'm insisting on this is because once you acknowledge that there's a force larger than your physical self at play in your life, you can start working with the highfalutin and limitless power of the universe to make some money around here. Is it fair to say, give me some hearts if you're watching on Periscope or Twitter, or some comments on Facebook, is it fair to say that most people, regardless of how woo-hooery it sounds, surely it's egotistical as fuck if we think we're the highest power in this entire universe. Human beings happen to be the only thing in the entire universe which is like infinitely large. We could never ever explore it in a million years. That we think we're the highest thing. That's it. It doesn't get more than a human being. I think that's bullshit. I think that's just egotistical. There has to be something somewhere. I'm not saying it's God or it's a religious thing. I'm not particularly religious at all. But surely to God, surely to God. See what I said? I'm not even religious. Surely to a higher energy out there. There's something. There's something else. There has to be something else. Okay, and I do believe we can tap into that. I do believe that the energy cannot. We know from physics that energy cannot be created or destroyed. It can only be transferred from one thing to another. So basically, whatever energy you are putting out has to be received by something, transferred into some other form of energy, and you are receiving and transforming and transferring energy from one form to another yourself. So yeah, ultimately you can start working with that. We've been taught to treat the information delivered to us via our 5 physical senses as the truth. Meanwhile, without sounding like an ingrate for all the awesomeness provided by my eyes, ears, nose, skin and tongue, seriously guys, huge thanks. These senses of ours are limited. Our senses provide only a certain scope of information limited by the reach of those senses. And for example, our sense of smell is far inferior to a dog's sense of smell. A dog can smell a package of salami being opened the second the seal is broken from the other room while sleeping. Bats can totally make fun of us right in front of our faces at frequencies too high for us to hear. Cats and their bionic night vision will always beat us in an after-dark obstacle course competition. Most people define their reality from the confines of what their 5 senses tell them, but there is so much more going on, like, say, an infinite, eternal universe worth of stuff. Fair point, what do you reckon? Anna's putting a thumbs up. John says, yeah, man, my life is unique and it has something to do with blessings. There are higher powers, and I like to DJ for them. Well, there you go, John. If DJing's your thing, man, DJ for the higher powers. It might get you some more work. Book you some more DJ gigs if they like your stuff. Where are we up to? Just like electricity and gravity, 2 things that impact our everyday lives that we don't actually see, that few of us understand, and that, everyone believes in anyway. It's funny, isn't it? Because we just do. Gravity, yeah, believe in that. Ever seen it? Nope. Universal intelligence and the power of our thoughts are real and affecting our lives every single moment, right? You show your faith in gravity by not flinging yourself off roofs, and your faith in electricity by not picking at a light socket with a fork. You may not understand the intricacies of how it all works, but still, you're totally down with following the rules. I want to encourage you to follow suit with the information I'm giving you now. Put it into practice as you embark on becoming rich, and let the results speak for themselves. Because trust me, once you start experiencing how powerful your thoughts and universal intelligence are, even though you may not totally grasp the entire what the fuck of everything involved, you'll be down with the program when you're rolling in the dough. We all want to be rolling in the dough. I don't mean dough, unless it's cookie dough and dough, money dough. We live in a universe that is made up of energy, right? This is the part that I'm totally down with. Everything is vibrating, moving, changing, and buzzing. This goes for all that's visible as well as all that's unseen. Okay, this book that I'm reading, this Kindle that I'm reading here, microwaves, your car, a brick, thoughts, money, words, a rock, a peck of pickled peppers, etc. One of the ways we interpret this energy is via our 5 senses. Our eyes pick up on light energy, our ears translate sound waves, our touch interprets energy as solid mass, etc. But this is only an interpretation of reality, and a limited one at that. This interpretation of our reality is also run through the filter of the belief system we formed via all the information we picked up over the course of our lives. Between our 5 physical senses and the truth blueprint created by our belief system, our perception of reality is, shall we say, a tad limited. Here's a thing that makes me excited to be alive on planet Earth as a human being with a conscious mind, right? We have the power to participate in the realm of reality that goes far beyond what our truth blueprint tells us, what our 5 senses tell us, or even what a dog's, cat's, or bat's senses tell them. And the way we blast beyond this limited realm is with our thoughts. And we're like the only humans. This is where humans do excel, because we really are kind of like, to a certain extent, from what science can kind of understand, are really, in control of our thoughts and can almost step outside of them to observe them, whereas most of the species seem to be completely within the moment, the now. We seem to be like the only species that can have thoughts upon thoughts, and that fucks us up a lot of the time. But it can also empower you depending on how you go about it. So nothing happens or comes to be without being thought first, right? This is just the truth, right? Our staggering solar system, your favourite song, the amount of money in your bank account, all of it, right? Our thoughts are linked to the invisible energy that makes up all that is, and they help mould it into that which we experience on the physical plane. And here's the real humdinger. Universal intelligence, or whatever you want to call it, and your thoughts are basically the same force. Just as the water droplet that lands in the ocean is part of the whole sea. So your thoughts exist as part of universal intelligence. In other words, you are one powerful motherfucker. According to Jen Sincero here, the invisible world creates the visible world, and I'm totally down with that. The more conscious you are about thinking powerful thoughts, this is just reality, and the less you're caught up in the limited aspects of the illusion created by your 5 senses and your truth blueprint, i.e. your belief system, the more in tune and connected you are to universal intelligence, and the more ease you will have in getting rich. The way you communicate with and stay connected to universal intelligence amidst the distractions and mayhem of your daily doings is through 2 types of thoughts, okay? And these are outgoing thoughts and incoming thoughts. We're going to look at those 2. This is kind of like where the chapter goes in a little bit of depth. This is the main bulk of it. So ultimately, what we're saying so far is through your 5 regular senses, that's like only, and I do believe this, that has to be only part of the world and the universe that we live in terms of how you're interpreting that. Interpreting? How you're interpreting that. We take for granted, this is what's bonkers, right? If anyone's saying this is bullshit, Ross, right now, look in your hands and look at probably what you're holding and watching this broadcast, or if you're on the audio experience, what you're listening to this broadcast on. It's probably a mobile device. 60% of internet traffic is on mobile devices. You're probably connected thus on a mobile device to the internet via a completely invisible magical force that you completely, utterly believe in because we've told you it's Wi-Fi. And you're going, yep, completely believe in that. And yet if you are questioning the fact that you yourself cannot give out effectively Wi-Fi type frequencies and signals that can then be picked up by other human beings and things within the universe, I think you're kidding yourself. Because that's exactly how Wi-Fi works. It's exactly how radio works. And we completely believe in that. We have no issue believing that at all. And yet our brain, which, is inevitably infinitely more powerful than any computer or radio or broadband router on this planet, it is so complex. If you can't, at least begin to accept that maybe that has the potential to do something equally as incredible as that Wi-Fi router sat downstairs in your house, or, up in the sky if you're on the bus or whatever, I think you're missing a trick by going, nah, but Wi-Fi, that's magic, innit? But my brain, it's fucking rubbish. Is it, though? Or is it an absolute miracle? So outgoing thoughts, right? This is what we're talking about. We are the only creatures on Earth with the power of conscious thought. And we use it to mold our realities and our paychecks by alerting universal intelligence, or whatever you want to call it, that this is how it is. Okay, universal intelligence created all that is, Again, whether you want to call it God or energy or just whatever, it is something higher than ourselves, energy of some kind. All right, Tony Rossi has created this world we are living in tonight, or today, depending on when you listen to this. So universal intelligence created all of this and all that will be. And your thoughts are how you use your free will to harness the power of universal intelligence to mold your reality. If you send out thoughts like, I can't afford to go on vacation, and I don't see that changing anytime soon, well, the universe is like, noted. You can't afford it. Stuck at home it is. Just as your thoughts created the financial reality you're experiencing right now, you can also use them to overcome and overpower what is, to manifest whatever reality you set your mind to. And I mean whatever you set your mind to. This is because everything you can think of already exists in the universe. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to think it. And I know you might be like, bananas, this is all a bit mental, right? But just stay here with me for a sec. All information, physical, mental, and spiritual, originates from the same source. And we're going to call that, for tonight, universal intelligence, right? Where are your thoughts before they come into your mind? Where is the flower that grows out of the teeny tiny seed? Where is the reality of you doubling your income with your awesome new cat costume business? If you wanted a cat costume business. All of this already exists in the energetic realm. And it's through our minds and how our mindset inspires us to take action that the new reality is made to manifest on the physical plane. So if you can think a thought, that thought already exists. And since all the things come from the universal intelligence, that thought must exist in a physical form as well. If you have a desire to make $50,000, that money and the way you make it already exists, guys. That's it, ultimately. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to think it up in the first place, because the thought of the money and the money itself are the same stuff. This concept is a 3,897-page book with a prayer mat and a bucket of ayahuasca thrown in it. But for the sake of our work here, right, this is the gist of how universal intelligence works. James Byron, good evening. Hope you're doing well, mate. So ultimately, like, do you get it? I know it's complex and sounds a bit mental. It's hard to explain. But the sheer fact that you can think of improving your life and having an acting career or having whatever it is you want in your life, you can only think that shit because it actually already exists in the world on both a thought plane and a physical plane. You just have to take the action to go out and get it, ultimately. Your thoughts dictate the truth otherwise. So if you're presently living in your mother's basement, working at the chicken shack down the road for $7.95 an hour, and you fixate your thoughts with unwavering determination on owning your own 200-acre chicken farm and a Cadillac, that chicken farm and sweet ride are your truth. Your thoughts alert universal intelligence to start arranging the energy in such a way as to make your desires manifest in physical form. And you need to learn how to see and receive the new opportunities that will lead you to your goal, which we will go into more detail later, and we won't because I can't read any more of this book. I'll just finish this and I'll just tell you where this has happened to me before. So your thoughts also trigger your emotions, which get you off your ass to take action, and your reality begins to shift. This is how people in wheelchairs climb mountains, and those who grow up in extreme poverty become rich. They consider their thoughts to be the truth, regardless of how their reality may appear. Get all worked up into an excited tizzy about it, and they make it happen. They use the power that all of us have to create what they desire, instead of settling for what they see surrounding them. And there's a quote, isn't there? Opportunity is in the eye of the beholder. And beauty is in the eye of the beholder as well. There's only one Tony Rossi, says Bobby. Certainly is Tony Rossi. So mastering the mindset of wealth is choosing to think about money and your reality in relationship to money in a way that will make you rich, not keep you poor. And a lot of people do just think of money in a way that's going to fucking keep them poor. And I know so many people, and I include myself, who used to do this. Used to be so scared of spending any money or investing any money in myself because my mindset was money is hard to come by. The minute I started investing in myself and buying shit that was going to improve my life and thus my output in the world, my value to the world, I started getting way more back from the world, including lots more money than I actually had to spend. It just took a shitload of courage because I just didn't get it for years. When you consciously focus your thoughts on the wealth you desire, imagine yourself rolling around on a big old leaf pile of Benjamins. We don't have Benjamins in this country. What do we have? Queenies in the UK. Feel how right and good and exciting it feels to be in the financial flow. What happens is when you start believing in that, right, you arrange the energy around you and within you to vibrate at a higher frequency, and as a result, your reality mirrors back to you high frequency opportunities and things. You can feel this energy. It literally lifts your spirits and pulls you into your radar, and pulls into your radar all the high frequency opportunities and things you shut yourself off from when you're all low vibe and sad sacky about your wimpy bank account, your lack of job options, your botched attempt at trying to get a raise, etc. Meanwhile, thinking about how amazing it's going to be to feel paying off your $15,000 credit card debt, telling yourself, I'm so grateful this card is paid off in full, I can hardly stand it, over and over, writing an actual check for the precise amount to pay it off and looking at it every day, all of these things arrange the energy around you to vibrate at a higher frequency and to take the physical form of that which you're focused on, $15,000. These positive thoughts release your resistance to having the money come in. You're on board, you're believing it, you're feeling it, you're loving it. And once resistance is gone, you're back into your natural state of flow. There's no doubt and fear cluttering up your energy, and the universe can deliver the riches you desire. And I know it does sound a little bit mental, right? But I knew, whether you believe me or not, right, because I know this is difficult to grasp, right? I knew in my voiceover career at the start of this year, from the last financial year, so April this year, I knew because I knew a big job, a really big job that I booked last year that was worth a lot of money, was going to come to an end within a couple of months. I started fixating on, holy shit, I haven't got a job after this, I haven't got a job after this, I haven't got a job after this. And I just bought an apartment, as you know. I just spent 6 figures in cash out of my bank account on an apartment deposit. I was very, very low on liquid funds. I know for a fact, because I could feel it, I'm like, Ross, you're blocking yourself from getting any more work here, because all you're putting out into the universe is scarcity, and you're putting out like this frequency of energy, which is no work, no work, no work, no work. So what's going to happen? Going to tune into the fact that actually I'm just not going to get any work. And I know it sounds like you're just like, oh, mate, you're talking out your arse. But I swear to God, I said to Sean, my business partner, I said, I know I'm blocking myself. I'm blocking myself from this. And I said I'm going to start acting as if I've got loads more work coming in. And I was like, okay, I just know a job's going to come in. I know a job's going to come in. And I did this for a few days. This was like on a Tuesday, I think, when we were filming the vlog. And I said, listen, mate, I said, I'm just going to focus on the fact that, a decent voiceover job's going to come in by Friday. And you can call it whatever you want. I didn't speak to my agent, by the way. I didn't say, oh, I'm so scared. Like, give me some jobs. 3 days later, on that Friday in the morning, got 2 jobs completely out of the blue for the week after that were worth a fair few £1,000s. And I was just like, shit, this is real. Like, this actually, like, I swear to God, this just works. Acting as if we know visualization works, because it, from a positive psychology perspective, that tunes us in, and our reticular activating system inside our brains, that tunes us into opportunities that otherwise we wouldn't see if we weren't acting as if this thing was already going to happen. And it's happened multiple times in my life. 100%. I just truly believe putting good out there and what you want to happen just brings it back, brings it right back to you. Remember I told you at the end of a broadcast a couple of weeks ago as well, I picked up a bird that I thought was going to die. It looked like it had flown into a car, and it was at the side of the road. Everyone was walking past it because they thought it was dead, and I noticed it breathing. Picked it up at 10:45 in the morning, covered it with my hoodie, blood everywhere. I was like, it's okay. Just going to sacrifice the hoodie for this wee little thing. Walked 2 miles to the vets to save it, kept checking on it. I think we saved it. That was at 10:45. I checked my email on the way home. Guess what came in at 10:50? Another big job. Well, kind of big job. It's worth over £1,000, voiceover job. Again, I was just putting good energy out into the world, man. 5 minutes later, something heard it. I could have just walked past that bird like everybody else. I swear to God, put good shit out there. You're going to get it back. Call it what you want. I don't care what you call it. But, like, I just know there's something in it. Tony says, okay, this sounded woo-woo to me when I first read it, and yet I so notice the difference when I'm looking for work. When I'm in a low energy and looking for day jobs, I find nothing or don't get replies. When I'm feeling good or proud of myself, I get emails and calls. This shit works. I do think it's the fact that when you are, call it what you want, but vibrating at high frequency as well, you take more action because you do feel better, Tony. So I noticed today, that's why I always get on the phone after a coffee. Have some coffee, get a little bit of a buzz, walk. I suggest everybody, this is what I always do when I want to make calls. I get outside, I don't do it from a desk sat here. I get outside, I get a coffee in my hand and I walk, and I'm so productive on the phone. I just, because I'm in a happy mood and I'm vibrating at high frequency, just start phoning more people who I would be sometimes too afraid to phone, if I'm honest with you, sat at the confines of my desk. Just like, I'm going to do it, I'm going to take more action because I'm feeling like I'm putting better energy out into the world. And so I think it's a combination of both, mate. You take more action and you're putting better stuff out in the world that other energy sources or whatever you want to call them are picking up on and just send you good stuff back. So they're your outgoing thoughts, right? So ultimately you've got to put out into the world what you want. And that sounds cliched as hell. You'd be like, it's in every single personal development book in the world, Ross, but it's because it's true, right? Then these are your incoming thoughts. The universe is constantly showing up, a cup of coffee in hand. Isn't that interesting? Not even read this chat, so I just mentioned coffee, and there you go. Cup of coffee in hand, wanting to discuss how to increase your finances and offering a helping hand. It connects with you, right? And it connects with you in these ways. One, via your intuition. I just know in my guts, that's what you'd say, that I should buy this house, even though it costs way more than what I wanted to spend. It still feels right. Who's had that? I had that with that apartment that I bought. I bought it within 4 minutes of walking into it before I'd even seen every room. Not that it's that big. Petch, my cameraman for the vlog, was like, oh my God, like, why have you just made that decision? He said, I would have had to go home and really think about it. So because my intuition instantly upon walking in went, have it. This is exactly right for you. It's been the best thing I've done in years. People call it intuition, right? And that gut feeling. But it's so powerful. Have you ever met someone and you just go, I just don't know what it is, but I just don't like the feel of you. I don't click with you. Something's just not quite right. That's your intuition. But what I think that is, and you can say it isn't, but I think that's my body putting out a frequency and this other person's putting out a different frequency, and these frequencies kind of not matching. And I'm feeling that. I can't see it, but I'm feeling it. And that's because I'm putting out energy into the world and I'm receiving energy in the world that we can't see. That's that whole Wi-Fi analogy I made before that people, are quite happy to believe in, but might not believe in it when it's coming from themselves or their brains. And your intuition is powerful. The universe is always trying to connect with you via synchronicity, and that's where you're like, I wonder whatever happened to Janet from cooking class. And then, oh, look, there she is calling me right now. You ever done that? You've thought about somebody, and all of a sudden, you've not seen them in years, and you bump into them, or you get a text from them. I've definitely had that. 100% I've had that. And give me some likes if you've had that. I looked at a guy I never spoke to at work and said, I'm going to marry him, and now he's my husband. No way. That's amazing. I hope that's because you didn't kidnap him. You're mine now. You're coming home with me. Hopefully, that was mutual and all above board. But, but yeah. I mean, that's amazing, though. Honestly, that's because you're just acting as if. You just knew. That's your intuition. Bosh, you're putting energy out. Boom, receiving energy from him. And you're like, boom, there's a connection here that I can't see, but I can feel. Tony says, yes, this is why I always get coffee when I sit down to apply for jobs. It's all the coffee stuff, Tony. Bobby says, I've started many good friendships with a random message saying, hey, you seem cool. Let the conversation just roll. And Gemma says, totally love this video. I have a funny law of attraction story. I've been listening to Russell Brand's audiobook and watching his Facebook videos. Last Tuesday, I said I'd love to have him as a guest on my radio show. He lives not too far from us. And I said maybe we would bump into him and I'd ask him. 2 hours later, he walked into the coffee shop we were in. I was too shocked it happened just after mentioning him. I didn't ask him. Defo needs to apply law of attraction more in work. Loving this video. Need this just now. Wow. Honest to God. So I've told you about this before when I wanted to. So there was a guy called Steve Bartlett, who was a guy I followed his vlog online. He's a 25-year-old guy, CEO of a business worth, I don't know, 50, 60 million pounds in the UK. It's grown hugely over the last 3 years, called Social Chain. He was creating these blog videos. Just a guy I massively respect. I was like, I need to be around this guy and the people around his circle. And I kept emailing the company. I was getting no reply. I would tweet them, all kinds of stuff, try to direct message him. He wouldn't even see these messages, etc. But I kept focused, going, it's all right. the universe will get out of my way. I will absolutely meet this guy. This will happen. We're already hanging out. It's fine. And I was doing a voiceover. I've told you this before. I was doing a voiceover for an app, for a new online app. And at the end of the voiceover, my engineer in the studio said, "So where is this audio going to?" To the other guy who was dialing in on the phone. And he said, "Just send it to jason@socialchain.com." I was like, oh my God. Like, I've been trying to get hold of Steve Bartlett, your CEO at Social Chain, for ages. And he's like, "Mate, no problem. I'll hook you up. Send us an email." Cut a long story short, went in the office quite a few times, met Steve quite a few times, had his videographer on my vlog. Steve's now agreed to come on and do a full interview on an episode of my vlog, Watch Ross. It was so coincidental. I just focused on the fact I was going to meet this guy, and what happened, I ended up doing a job for his company. And you can call that coincidence or whatever you want, but I swear to God, my brain could not have figured out how that was going to happen, but it just did. Another. I think it's proof, man. So inspiration is another way that the universe wants to communicate with you. Check out this awesome idea for a song that just popped into my head out of nowhere. If you're an actor or writer, you might have had that with a script or an idea. That happens to me a lot of times when I'm out running on a Sunday, do a long run on a Sunday. I'll often have some really interesting ideas that I have no idea where they've come from. Desire is another one. I just know I'm meant to be rich, even though none of my screenplays have sold yet. If you're a writer, that might be you. Coincidence. I just opened a book to the perfect page. It's exactly what I needed to read. So Gemma, maybe you just, coincidence, you just happened to come on this video tonight, on this live, but you just needed to see that video today. But a lot of people, when I put that video on rejection out before, that you can see at facebook.com/@onthisTV. If you're listening on the audio experience, you have to scroll a bit further down the page, depending on when you're watching this. As I'm recording this, it's the 1st of October, 2018. So scroll to the 1st of October 2018 to watch the video on rejection. Lots of people left in the comments saying, so glad you put this out today, really need to hear this right now. So maybe it's coincidence, or maybe, you know what, the universe somehow delivered it to those people at the right time. If you're truly committed to kicking ass, you'll want to strengthen your relationship with the universe in the following ways, all right? 1, learn to quiet your mind and receive the information it's trying to send you. So don't repel shit from your life. If you're getting a feeling that, a really strong feeling of intuition, roll with that. Do it. Trust that this information, aka your intuition, provides all the answers you're seeking, no matter how terrifying, bananas, unacceptable they may seem. Surrender and have faith that when you bravely head into the unknown, the universe has your back. Remember that from that book, Susan Jeffers' book, Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. It says, you know what, you just need to convince yourself, because it's the truth, that you will handle whatever life throws at you, because you always have. Up until this point, all the shit that's happened to you in your life, you've handled it, haven't you? Let's be honest with yourselves. You've done, what you needed to do to get through it. So when you go into any situation, you go, you know what, actually, I don't need to control this situation, because whatever happens, I'm going to handle it. Thus, there is nothing to be afraid of. So just surrender and have faith that, when you go into these situations, the universe does have your back, and you've got your own back. And everyone here, we've got everyone's back. And then lastly, accept that you don't have to know how to do what you don't know how to do yet, and that the universe will lead the way. And that's that point I always use the example of saying you're standing on a pitch black staircase. And right now, for your acting career, to get that BAFTA or whatever it is you want, that Oscar in your life, whatever it is, you can't see all 50 steps of this staircase yet. But you're stood on a step, and that step you're on has lit up the next step just enough for you to step onto it. And when you step onto it, the next step's going to light up, and so on until you've hit all 50 steps. So don't worry that, you have to know it all right now. You don't know what you don't know, but the universe will make sure that you do if you keep on pursuing your goals and doing what you want to do. We all have the ability, through our thoughts, to harness the power of the universe ultimately. And if that doesn't have you heading out to purchase a superhero cape and tights, I can see Steaky Dwayne doing that now. I don't know what else I can say. And that's the end of that chapter. So we're going to leave the book there. It's an awesome book. I'll show you the cover of it again, just so people can check it out on Amazon. But do check. I'm sure it's about $5 this book when I bought it on Kindle. I've got it on my iPad. But you get it on Kindle, or you can get the audio book as well. Jen Sincero, spelled Sincero. Let's get to where's the page? There you go. Come on, Jen. Boom. Oh, you can't see that on the screen at all, can you? Let me do that. Can you see that? There you go. You are a badass at making money. For those on the audio experience, it's bright green with black lettering. You are a badass at making money. And the subtitle is Master the Mindset of Wealth. It's New York Times best-selling book. New York Times best-selling author, Jen Sincero. Sincero. So yeah, like I say, I know it's woo-woo. I used to be massively scientific. I still am in many, many respects. But there are, the more I go through life, many, many situations I find myself in, both professionally and personally, where I'm like, holy shit, I just could never, ever have figured out how I was going to get this thing that has now almost just been dealt to me on a plate without me really having to think about it. I'm not saying I haven't had to work for it, but I just haven't had to think really about how this has come into fruition. It's just, I keep showing up, putting good work out there, and these things just happen. So ultimately, yeah, have faith. Time's going to pass anyway. Focus on what you want, not on all the shit you don't want. Because when you're focusing on the shit you don't want, you are attracting more of that shit into your life. I promise you that's how the world works. Bobby says he can borrow my Power Rangers suit. It's blue like sea. I used to love Power Rangers, Bobby. Definitely as a kid when I was about 10. It was the best show on TV. 100%. So yeah, what do you think of that then? Interesting or what? I love it. Absolutely love it. Yeah, just going to leave that to ruminate with you. Anyone got any exciting news to report? Anything that you need any help with? Any questions on anything to do with anything we spoke about tonight or anything to do with nothing we spoke about tonight? Doesn't matter. I'm going to play a little clip of this rejection video for you guys in a minute. Like I say, I did this instead of my vlog this week. I'm also doing another one of these tomorrow instead of the vlog tomorrow, because then the week after, from next Tuesday, not tomorrow, I'm going to start filming every other week behind the scenes of these new Acts on This TV features. I've got so many people coming on actsonthis.tv, guys. If you've not got your membership yet, and you're an actor in the UK, don't know what you're doing. Or people like, Rich from Miami and Tony from Chicago. If you ever want to work in the UK industry, get yourself a membership on actsonthis.tv as well. It's got interviews with the biggest casting directors, actors, agents, writers, producers in the UK industry. I'm talking the biggest. And I've just booked today, I must have booked 6 upcoming podcasts with multiple directors, 2 agents, 2 great agents, and a great actor. Dan Ryan's coming back on the site. He's just filming something up in Manchester called The Bay at the moment. Asan Niji was a guy I worked on Casualty with a few weeks ago. He's a brand new actor, a regular in Emmerdale. He's coming on. He's only a young guy, talking about how he just landed that part in Emmerdale after only having smaller parts than that before. Lots of inspiring tales about people working hard and getting what they want out of the industry. What software do you use to schedule your Facebook Live? I just use Facebook, Tony. So to schedule it, all I do is I schedule it through my Facebook page, which is facebook.com/actsonthistv. I go into Publishing Tools. And then within Publishing Tools, on the left-hand side, click Video Library. And then within Video Library, you'll see in the top right-hand corner a little button that says Plus Live. So you click on Plus Live, it'll say, when do you want to go live? Give your video a title, give it a description, and then click Schedule, and then it will just schedule it. So that's when you get the countdown. So I scheduled this tonight that was going live at 9 o'clock at about 8:30. Give people a heads up, going, guys, going online in half an hour. Here you go. It also means if you've got an email list, you can send it out to your email list, or you can tweet it out going, this is where I'm going to be. People can click on it and get a reminder on Facebook for when you are live. But I just use Facebook, mate. Yeah, no fancy software. It's just all built in within Facebook. And the software I use right now to go live is something called OBS Studio, which is a bit technical, but if you've got a decent computer, a Mac or a MacBook, it'll handle it no problem. Takes a little bit of working around, but yeah. If anyone wants me to do like a live broadcast on doing live broadcasts, let me know. If you've got your own online business or whatever, and it's like, you know what, I'd like to do some live broadcasts in my online business or in my acting career, maybe somehow. And if you could, weed it in somehow, let me know. Definitely, put some tutorials together. You're an expert at positive thinking, Ross. Can we talk about how to get rid of the negative thinking at some point in your broadcasts? It's been drilled into my head all my life. So, John, man, God, I mean, this is like, you want to check out bulletproofactor.com and maybe when I open Bulletproof Actor in November, it's a mindset program that I launch just once a year. Come and get involved with that. We do 5 weeks of that. Ultimately, mate, what it comes down to is the fact that your entire belief system right now has been constructed of previous experiences you've had in life. And if you've been thrown some pretty, shit hands in life, then that's going to have created a lot of limiting beliefs in your head around things. Everything to do with you, your worth, opportunity, money, career, talents, everything, mate. Absolutely everything. And you have built into you as a human being something called negativity bias. We're all born with it, and it's actually a protective mechanism, mate, which we all need, initially, at least when we were prehistoric human beings, which meant we needed to know about every single thing in the world that was negative because we could then stay away from it so it couldn't hurt us. But unfortunately, in the modern world, it's not things like, saber-tooth tigers that we need to know about. We're not going to die because of, predators, etc. But we are fed a load of negative shit by society and by the news. So you will, unfortunately, probably be focusing on a lot of negative stuff by default in the world, in your life. And like we've just spoken about tonight, you're probably vibrating at that low frequency and attracting more negativity. And so it all comes down, the first step and the simplest step to breaking through that shit, mate, honest to God, is coming back to gratitude for the things that you do have, because you will still have some incredible things in your life, even if it's only your health, mate. You might have no money, no friends, family, no support, no nothing. But if you're alive and you're in pain, it means you're here. You're feeling that pain, thus there's still time on the clock to do something about it. A friend of mine, mentioned last week, 2 weeks ago, lost his fight with brain cancer. He's 35, dead. He'd do anything to come back with some problems, I'm sure, and be able to, spend 60 years working through them. So be grateful for your problems as well. Be like, you know what, if I'm here and I've got problems, I can do something about them. So it's gratitude, definitely. And ultimately, getting clarity on what you want, and then developing the confidence to go after them. And that all starts with courage. Step one would be to get some courage to, begin going after what you want. Then you commit to it. During that commitment, it takes a lot of time, but you'll develop capability, and that capability will give you the confidence to go out and smash it. It's a long process, dude, but that's what we're here for. Time's going to pass anyway. So you might as well, start now to build the best version of you that's ever been. Bulletproofactor.com, though, if you want to go super in depth on it, man, it's a 5-week program that I take live calls like this for 5 hours at a time with a group, workbook, 33 videos, mega coaching. It's something that you've really got to be prepared to do if you're going to do it, though. But if you go to bulletproofactor.com, get on the waiting list. I'll be opening registration up for that. I hope, if I can, fingers crossed, I'm in this new apartment probably by like the first week of November, because I like to get people through the course so that by Christmas they're like raring to go, and they can go into Christmas, have a great Christmas, and then they can begin smashing it in the new year, whilst everyone else is just kind of crawling out of a drunken, hungover slumber. People from Bulletproof are like in January going, right, come on, let's do it. This is now time. So yeah, check it out. But gratitude, buddy. If you just want to get yourself out quick, gratitude. Seriously, come back to that. All right, Gary Thomas, hope you're well, dude. Good to see you. Tony says, total shameless plug for anyone looking for Positive Mindset podcast, assuming you're all caught up on acts on this broadcast. What? Oh, yeah, Tony's got a podcast as well. What's yours called, To? What's it called, man? The Tony Rossi show, innit? But is that what it is? Is that what it is? I need to get it, man. Oh, he's put a link there as well. It is the Tony Rossi show. So, yeah, for those in the Facebook chat, he's put a link there as well. Well said, Ross, says Leah. Thank you, Leah. Written it down, man, says John. And Jill says, it's so hard to be positive when you live with a negative thinker. Yes, Jill, it is. Okay, so in that situation, this is a really, really... we'll finish up on this, so I don't keep everyone all night. It's a really, really common thing that people are like, listen, I want to improve my life and I want to start having, more success in my life, ultimately having more happiness, because that's the goal here. It's not, we spoke about money tonight, and money is a big contributor to happiness. No one can deny it. We can slag money off as much as we want because people like to do that because they think like that will make them feel better about their lives and they don't have any. But the more you do have, the more, it does bring happiness. It can buy happiness. It absolutely can. But yeah, happiness is what we're all after in whatever state. And you can have that no matter what's in your bank account. You've got everything you need within you right now to be happy if you allow yourself to be. But if you are married to someone who's very, very negative, or your mum is very negative, or your dad is very negative, or your brother, or you just, you can't choose your family, can you? There's two things that happen here, right? And this is a difficult one for a lot of people. But ultimately, you need to absolutely double down on you, focus on you, okay? What happens is you do that, you will begin improving your life. Okay, and one of two things will happen to your immediate circle, friends and family. In rare circumstances, they will rise with you straight away. They'll be like, right, I want a bit of whatever Jill's having because she seems to be like really grabbing life by the balls right now. She's having way more success. Or what is more common, unfortunately, right? And this is just initially, is people will eject themselves a little bit from your life. So friends, for instance, if we're talking about friends here, Jill, then they don't really want to be around you as much because it's like, oh, do you know what? Jill's like actually doing really well now, and that's reminding me even more of how not well I am doing. And they will eject from your life. And it's your job then to seek out people who inspire you, who you want to be around with. Because Jim Rohn, great famous thought leader, said we are the average of the 5 people we spend the most time with. And you are the average, like, across the board. Your physicality, how much money you earn, your outlook on life, lots of things. If you look at the 5 people you spend the most time with, you'll all be so very, very similar in your outlook on life. So you'll be the average of those 5. And if you're hanging out with 5 broken, whinging people, you will be the 6. If you're hanging out with 5 motivated, inspired, big earners who are going and grabbing life by the balls, you will be the 6 as well. But what happens is, once those people have ejected, and I've seen this happen many times in real life, eventually the other people who were negative, right, particularly if it's only 1 on their own or 2 on their own, so there's not like a group of them that they can just kind of go and be negative with, forever, they do hit a point where they're like, fuck, you know what, like, I'm stepping up here. Jill has proven that she can transform her life. And I'm respecting that now, and I've got to a point where I can't even be jealous of it because I've seen her put the work in. I'm going to ask how she did it, and I am going to be, you will then inspire other people to rise up as well. But the thing is just realizing that you are not responsible for other people, even if it's your husband, Jill, or whatever. You are not responsible for his happiness. He is not responsible for your happiness. I think what happens is when you get 2 people who come together who feel that, they can only be complete when they are together, like, that's it, they need each other for happiness, you end up with 2 half people. Whereas if you get 2 full people coming together, in my experience of relationships and life, then man, it can be amazing. So yeah, you are responsible for your happiness. Your friends are responsible for their happiness. Yes, you can inspire your friends, you can be there for them, etc., etc. But there comes a point where you've got to stop being a cheerleader and start being a coach. A cheerleader will be like, oh, don't worry, you keep going, everything's going to be fine, you're amazing as you are, you don't need to change, you're amazing as you are, keep going. And actually, it's not useful eventually. Sometimes you've got to go, right, you know what, as a friend, a real friend, as a coach, as a partner, I'm actually going to tell you, I'm not going to use the term man up, but you need to human up, all right? You've got to stop wallowing in your own shit. Stop being so negative because nothing in your life is going to change until you do. And that's hard when it's your family and it's your mum, or someone like that. Anyone here is like, living with my mum and she's really, really negative. They're going to be like, I can't ditch her from my life. That's horrible. And I get that. I completely get that. But you've got 2 options. You either do something radical right now, and it doesn't mean it's forever, or what happens is finally when you get to 60 and your parents pass away in the natural order of life, you resent the fuck out of them because all they did was hold you back with negativity. So you don't want to do that. So sometimes an uncomfortable conversation is better to have, I think. In my opinion, went off on a bit of one there, didn't I? Gary says, I see such a difference between what certain friends post and what other friends post on Instagram. Some negative, others inspiring. And also be careful. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. And people tend to go to different extremes on social media as well, Gary. Like, we have definitely... Someone put a very interesting post up on Twitter today. We have definitely gone a little bit too far with the perfection on Instagram, without a doubt. So what's happened now is we've created a social environment where perfection is normal because everyone sees it every day on Instagram. Everything's filtered, everything's put across perfectly. And someone said to me today that means that good is disposable. Good no longer is satisfactory for people. So they throw away good looking for perfect. Inevitably, they never find perfect because outside of Instagram, it doesn't exist. And when it comes to relationships and stuff like that, these people ultimately just grow old very, very lonely and unhappy. Like, oh, I never found the one. Well, you know what? You did. You found him 5 times, but it was just great. It wasn't perfect. So you threw away good and great looking for perfect that was fucking impossible to find. So yeah, we've got to be careful on Instagram, mate. It's difficult, isn't it? But there we go. Awesome. Nothing in life works unless you do, says Bobby. Completely agree. Well, listen, thank you so much for joining me tonight. We spent an hour. Had a fantastic time. I'm going to play you a little clip of this. This is a 7-minute video on rejection. I'm going to play like 60 seconds of it. It won't be very big, unfortunately, with subtitles on this, the way the screen is here tonight. But I'm going to play you a little bit. This is what we'll finish on. If you want to watch the rest, please will you go and watch this video before you sleep tonight. or if you're in America, Tony, go and watch it now before you do whatever you're doing. Go to Act on This. No. What am I doing it again? Go to facebook.com/Act on This TV. And that's facebook.com/Act on This TV. And you'll see it underneath this video you're watching now. You'll see a video and it says, for anyone who's ever been rejected. And it's just all of my thoughts on rejection and how you can use it to fuel you with great examples of people who've been rejected and gone on to, achieve incredible things. It would mean the world to me if you've got any value out of this tonight or any value out of the video on rejection. I mean the world if you shared that video for me. Please just share it on Facebook. Tag someone in it. Share it to your timeline and just tag someone in it who might be that negative thinker, who might have just been rejected, who might need a boost, who needs to hear that message that, rejection is necessary. It's a vital part of our growth as individuals. It's actually a gift in a way when you look back at it. It's probably done a lot for you in the past. Please share it. It would really mean everything to me. I don't want anybody's money. We spoke about money tonight. I don't want anything like that. I just want you to share that video just so I can have a bit more impact with that video, because I think I put a lot of time into it and effort into it, and I just think it's powerful. And I'd like to remind people that it's all right. Rejection's cool. We all get rejected at various times in our lives, and actually, it's a necessary part of our evolution. So thank you, everyone. Leah says it was bloody brilliant tonight. Thanks, Ross. Thank you, Leah. Appreciate you being here. 100%. Gary says seen it, really good. Never saw that letter about Madonna before. Oh, well, if you want to hear about the letter about Madonna, go check it out. So I'm going to play you a minute of this. So if you want to go and watch the rest, please facebook.com/Act on This TV. Click on the video, it'll be on the timeline, and please share it with your friends. Would hugely appreciate it. Love you all. Thank you so much. Until next Monday, 9 p.m, same time, same place. Have a fantastic week. Bye for now.
Rejection. It's a right? As an actor, I've certainly faced my fair share of rejection over the years.
No one would pay to see you perform.
On a number of occasions, I've been rejected at the final hour.
You're fired.
From projects that wouldn't have only been game-changing for my acting career, but actually transformational for my entire life.
So I don't need you then, now?
And yeah, rejection at that level really stings. And you might have felt that sting too, and I'm talking literally, physically, because research shows that rejection triggers the same brain pathways that are activated when we experience physical pain. Scientists suggest the root of this goes back to when we were hunter-gatherers and living in tribes. The price of rejection back then, and thus ostracism from the tribe, was pretty much death. Mother Nature decided the more painful she could make the experience of rejection, the more likely we were to change our behavior to avoid ostracism, thus being able to survive and pass on our genes. Thanks, Mother Nature. So in today's world, there's good news and bad. The good news is that if you are watching this video right now, you're probably not a hunter-gatherer, thus under no risk at all of death if you do get ostracized by your tribe. But the bad news is that even after thousands of years of evolution, rejection still fucking hurts. If you've recently been rejected or you're currently going through rejection in or out of your career, here's a few examples of people who have also felt that physical, gut-wrenching punch to the stomach, yet have still managed to come out on top. First up, check this out. It's a rejection letter from a Mr. Jimmy Lenner, president of an American record label, rejecting Madonna on the basis she wasn't ready and that he didn't like her material. Less than 3 years later, everyone on the planet would know this material girl's name. And 30 years later, this woman is still a regular performer at the Grammys, selling millions and millions of albums worldwide.
First of all, you have to be really passionate about what you do and really believe in what you do, because there's going to be a lot of fights and battles and struggles along the way. So my best advice is to really believe and love what you do.
Next up, it's the rather phenomenal actor-comedian, Mr. John Cleese, and a rejection letter from the BBC in the early 70s, rejecting his idea for a little sitcom called Fawlty Towers. Ian Main at the BBC thought the idea was, quote, as dire as its title, saying it was a collection of cliches and stuff.
Oh, you've already seen too much. Remember, facebook.com/Acts on This TV. Until next time, go watch that video. Bye for now.